The Soviet resistance continues to crumble in the face of our determined assaults. We are still continuing to pursue enemies that have reformed their units behind our own lines. One such enemy unit is now threatening the village of Alexandrovka. We have to make sure that this village stays in our hands, so our capable soldiers have formed up and will pursue the enemy into the forest. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of our raging Bridgehead campaign in Graviteam Tactics Mius-Front. Today we are going to fight this little battle up here in the north, where we are facing what I hope to be a depleted enemy sapper unit. During the last episode, we faced a similar broken enemy unit down here, and I was too cautious, I would say, in approaching them and fighting them, so it was a battle that was really uneventful. I think fighting sappers up here in the forest will be a little bit more exciting, so let's go and do that. Good news, the rain has finally stopped, so we can start this battle, and the weather won't suck completely. This is awesome. Our units will be able to see something. There's no way that we will be able to fight enemy sappers inside the forest at close range without taking any casualties, so we are not gonna even attempt that. Right now, an artillery strike will begin. It is scheduled artillery. It will land in this area, and after 5 minutes of battle time, my infantry on the whole line here will start to move into the forest and sweep. Over here we have some combat engineers that will also make their move into the forest to cut off the enemies that might retreat in this direction. Let's see if we can get this to work. Right now we will have a nice look at some 105mm artillery shells landing inside the forest. Also, I do have a lot of stuff standing by on this hill, including some 88s, but I don't think I will get to use them in this battle, since I don't believe that the enemy will come out of the forest. That sounds not very likely. By the way, look at the detail on these things. I mean, the developer is really doing a good job modeling units. And look at the individual levers, look at this here. Oh, this is nice. Over here, the optics. Very nicely done. You really have to give them credit. When they do model something, they do it in very nice detail. I wish they would model more units for this game, but apparently model work is very time consuming and expensive, and well, they are a small developer, so they have to allocate their resources in a very smart way. I hope that the artillery strike will finish before the units start to move. Otherwise, we could get into trouble. Also, we will have a mortar strike coming down in this area and then shifting up to here. That will start at the 3-minute mark, and I do hope that those strikes too will be finished before my units arrive in this area. Let's increase the time compression a little bit. Okay, now the mortar strike is preparing. The heavy artillery is doing a good job, and yes, the strike will finish in time. Here's the mortar strike. We have a battery of 6 8cm mortars standing by. By the way, we can make use of these guys, so maybe we should move you close to the units that will assault into the forest. Yeah. Do go over there. This mortar strike and this artillery strike, they are basically just to make sure that the enemy is not waiting for me on the edge of the forest here, ready to ambush me. Okay, the first mortar strike has finished. Now the second one, a little bit further back, will commence. And in just a few seconds, we should start to see the general advance of my units. By the way, these guys are still in their vehicles. Yeah, I don't think I want that to be the case. So deploy your infantry and then move. Okay. This is looking good. They're beginning their movements. Over here we have tanks moving together with infantry. And yeah, even these guys are starting to move into the forest to make sure that they cut off any retreating enemies. The tanks out here in the open, they will stay here and they will just make sure that the enemy does not get out of the forest on this side. Okay, the mortar strike is progressing nicely. I hope it will be finished in time. There is an off-map strike coming down somewhere. I did not spot the impacts. I hope it's nowhere near my units. No, this is looking fine. They are landing all the way over there. So my own units are not in danger. Yeah. This is good. Once I've discovered where the enemy is, I can try to concentrate my forces on their position. Okay, the mortar strike should end now. These should be the last rounds landing. We have started some small fires, but that's not too bad. The question is, did we hit anything with that, or did we at least suppress the enemy? We won't know until we arrive in this area. But wherever the enemy is, they really are not having a good time, I can tell you that much. And this, by the way, this is the right way to advance into a forest with a mixed force of infantry and half-tracks. Keep the half-tracks behind the enemies, behind your soldiers. The half-tracks at short range are very vulnerable. They can be killed very easily. And this sounds like we have made contact with an enemy gun. God damn it. What is this thing doing here? I did not foresee an enemy anti-tank gun. We are engaging, but I hope my half-tracks kill this thing rather quickly. Kill it fast. It's in a good position too. And it's not alone. More enemy guns in the distance. Well, this is not good. Things are happening. A firefight is starting inside the forest. Well. Look at that. The enemy is putting up some resistance. And they have these guns in a good position, I have to admit. They are positioned in a way that they can cover anything that comes out of the forest on this side of the clearing. But I have way too many machine guns. So the gun crew is being cut down. Yeah, they're not having a fun time. But the enemy has a second gun over here. How's that one doing? It is still operational, actually. It might still do damage. They're aiming. And they are shooting at my forces. It looks like they are shooting smoke rounds, which can be super dangerous for my infantry and half-tracks. These things usually burn. Yeah, but right now they are starting to receive machine gun fire and they're being cut down. A gun shield will only protect you so much. Once machine guns really start to home in on your position, you are in trouble. And yeah, they are giving up the gun. They are giving up the gun. The enemy retreats, so this is already the end of the battle. It was a small enemy unit, this is just a mop-up operation at this point. I wonder how many casualties did they manage to inflict on me with that gunfire. Here we go. 1. 1 casualty. Aww. Oh, if it wasn't for this casualty, we would have had 2 battles with 0 casualties in a row. That would have been awesome. But never mind, they had 22 men, we killed 17 of them. Or wounded them heavily. So that's good. That's really good. Let's have a quick look at the forces that we faced. I was expecting enemy sappers, not enemy guns. But yeah, these guns belong to a sapper battalion. This is basically the anti-tank defense of a sapper battalion. 2 45mm guns. And as you can see, the shield, the gun, they will only stop so much. They do stop a lot of bullets, but they can't stop everything. Especially when it comes to machine guns. Those will usually get through. Great. What else was here? A machine gun unit, okay. You were the one who managed to kill one of my men. Shame on you. Well, at least you achieved something. Is my man dead or is he heavily wounded? He is heavily wounded, so he's not dead. That's a good thing. Okay. Let's return to the operation and see what we achieved. Battle group defeated. So the north here is ours. We did it. Next time we will have to fight for this area. This one will be a bit more interesting. We don't know what we are facing, and it's not 1 unit, it's 2 enemy units. And they are in fact making a breakout attempt to the north. So join me next time when we hopefully kill these guys without too many casualties. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.